The Star Spangled Banner as you've never heard it. This is the video we've got today about the United States National Anthem as we keep advancing on the United States content. I did one reaction to a performance previously and I got a few comments, but I think, one of them was saying, not to pause a lot. And I thought that while listening to it, as it's, I think as, doing reactions, I have for quite a while, and I watch them before making videos myself. So I kind of get that some people don't like when you pause videos. And in my experience as well, it's been different for different content. Because I've got a couple reaction channels, and there's some that a certain audience actually like when you do that, but I think it's circumstantial. Like something for an anthem, a national anthem is, really, it's something to respect. But then also, part two is YouTube and YouTube's regulations. If you're making reaction type videos, you can't just sit there and say nothing for the whole video. There's certain terms and conditions when it comes to that, terms of service. But anyway, just try and get a good mix of that. But as I said, when it comes to national anthems, there is definitely a sign of respect that you would like to give to it. But today there's a bit of a talking involved. I just wanted to see what the start of the video is like. It's kind of learning a bit more about it. So I didn't even know previously that it had a name. I just thought it was called the national anthem, like for United States. I didn't know it was called the Star Spangled Banner. So already I've learned. But let's get right into it. If you've got any other videos, any other United States videos you want me to react to from me, I am from Australia, so welcome if you're new, but let's get right into it. Maybe learn some history behind it. Okay.
There was a lawyer once. His name was Francis Scott Key. He penned a song that I'm sure you're aware of. You've seen it. It's in most hymnals throughout our churches. It's called the National Anthem. It is our song as an American. We go, however, to a ball game. We stand in our church services and we sing the words of that song, and they float over our minds and our lips, and we don't even realize what we're singing. Most of us have memorized it as a child, but we've never really thought about what it means. Let me tell you a story. Francis Scott Key was a lawyer in Baltimore. The colonies were engaged in vicious conflict with the mother country, Britain. Because of this conflict and the protractedness of it, they had accumulated prisoners on both sides. The American colonies had prisoners and the British had prisoners. And the American government initiated a move. They went to the British and they said, let us negotiate for the release of these prisoners. They said, we want to send a man out to discuss this with you. They were holding the American prisoners in boats about 1,000 yards offshore. And they said, we want to send a man by the name of Francis Scott Key. He will come out and negotiate to see if we can make a mutual exchange. On the appointed day in a rowboat, he went out to this boat.
Hold on, it just hits you. It's like, wow, what a different time this was as well. Just making sure we're full HD. Yeah, some videos are in like 4K, but see, I like learning about this side of it. So if you've got other videos as well about history, US history, let me know about that. If that's not too boring for a reaction video, but no, I like them type videos, the learning aspect. Things I may have not learned in school myself in Australia about United States. Yeah.
And make a mutual exchange.
we learn about our country, maybe understandably so.
We'll come out and negotiate to see if we can make a mutual exchange.
Okay.
On the appointed day in a rowboat, he went out to this boat and he negotiated with the British officials, and they reached a conclusion that men could be exchanged on a one-for-one basis.
Okay.
Francis Scott Key, jubilant with the fact that he'd been successful, went down below in the boats, and what he found was a cargo hold full of humanity, men.
Wow.
And he said, men, I've got news for you tonight. You're free. He said, tonight I have negotiated successfully your return to the colonies. He said, you'll be taken out of this boat, out of this filth, out of your chains.
Wow.
As he went back up on board to arrange for their passage to the shore, the admiral came and he said, "We have a slight problem." He said, "We will still honor our commitment to release these men, but it'll be merely academic after tonight. It won't matter." And Francis Scott Key said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, Mr. Key," he said, "tonight we have laid an ultimatum upon the colonies. Your people will either capitulate and lay down the colors of that flag that you think so much of, or you see that fort right over there, Fort Henry?" He said, "We're going to remove it from the face of the earth."
Wow.
He said, "How are you going to do that?" He said, "If you will, scan the horizon of the sea." And as he looked, he could see hundreds of little dots. And he said, "That's the entire British war fleet." He said, "All of the gunpowder, all of the armament is being called upon to demolish that fort. It will be here within striking distance in a matter of about 2.5 hours. He said, "The war is over. These men would be free anyway." He said, "You can't shell that fort." He said, that's a large fort." He said, "It's full of women and children." He says, "It's predominantly not a military fort." He said, "Don't worry about it." They said, "We've left them a way out." And he said, "What's that?" He said, "Do you see that flag way up on the rampart?" He said, "We have told them that if they will lower that flag, the shelling will stop immediately. And we'll know that they've surrendered, and you'll now be under British rule."
Wow.
Francis Scott Key went down below and told the men what was about to happen. And they said, "How many ships?" He said, "Hundreds." The ships got closer. Francis Scott Key went back up on top and he said, "Men, I'll shout down to you what's going on as we watch." As twilight began to fall, and as the haze hung over the ocean as it does at sunset, suddenly the British war fleet unleashed. He says the sound was deafening. There were so many guns that there were no reliefs. He said it was absolutely impossible to talk or hear. He said suddenly the sky, although dark, was suddenly lit.
Oof.
And he says from down below, all he could hear the men, the prisoners, saying was, "Tell us where the flag is. What have they done with the flag?"
As well, this is really well done as well. Like this story, it's so captivating, but it's so real as well. So it's not as exciting to hear about, but wow. Yeah, I'm definitely engrossed in the story. Wow.
What have they done with the flag?
It's told well.
Is the flag still flying over the rampart? Tell us. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours into the shelling.
Wow. And the images.
Every time the bomb would explode and it would be close to the flag, they could see the flag in the illuminated red glare of that bomb. And Francis Scott Key would report down to the men below, "It's still up. It's not down." The admiral came and he said, "Your people are insane." He said, "What's the matter with them?" He said, "Don't they understand this is an impossible situation?" Francis Scott Key said he remembered what George Washington had said. He said, "The thing that sets the American Christian apart from all other people in the world is he will die on his feet before he'll live on his knees."
Oh, that's a quote. He will die on his feet before he lives on his knees. Was that correct?
From all other people in the world is he will die on his feet before he'll live on his knees.
Which, that is pretty self-explanatory. I don't need to go too deep to tell you what that means. Like, yeah, he's not gonna be told what to do. He's not gonna beg. And hold your own ground and live by, make your decisions by what you believe in. Again, sorry if it's not the perfect definition, but as I said, the phrase on itself really stands true.
He will die on his feet before he'll live on his knees.
Yeah, so like, or he'd rather die before getting on his knees and really folding towards. It's like saying he'll die for what he believes in, basically. I think. Yeah, I think that sounds right.
The Admiral said, "We have now instructed all of the guns to focus on the rampart to take that flag down." He said, "We don't understand something. Our reconnaissance tells us that that flag has been hit directly again and again and again, and yet it's still flying. We don't understand that."
Wow.
But he said, "Now we're about to bring every gun for the next 3 hours to bear on that point." Francis Scott Key said the barrage was unmerciful. All that he could hear was the men down below praying.
Praying.
The prayer. God, keep that flag flying where we last saw it. The sunrise came. He said there was a heavy mist hanging over the land, but the rampart was tall enough.
Wow.
There stood the flag, completely nondescript, in shreds. The flagpole itself was at a crazy angle, but the flag was still at the top.
Yeah.
Francis Scott Key went aboard and immediately went into Fort Henry to see what had happened. And what he'd found had happened was that that flagpole and that flag had suffered repetitious direct hits. And when it had fallen, but men, fathers, who knew what it meant for that flag to be on the ground, although knowing that all of the British guns were trained on it, walked over and held it up humanly until they died. Their bodies were removed and others took their place. Francis Scott Key said what held that flagpole in place at that unusual angle were patriots' bodies.
I'm so like now, okay. Like it sounds bad to me, but this is the first time I've truly understood the meaning of your flag. And well, yeah, I think they do play it towards the end, the national anthem. This is the first time I've properly understood the story behind it. Wow. To myself, I'm just like, really? Have you lived this long without knowing it? I might have heard things here or there, but now this type of video is something where, now this is going to stick with me forever. Like, I'll always know now. Wow.
Were patriots' bodies. He penned the song, "Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light."
Wow.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming. Or the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that the flag was still there.
Wow.
Oh, say, does that Star Spangled Banner yet fly and wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
It's powerful, really.
The debt was demanded. The price, it was paid.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light
Wow.
what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets sprayed clear, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that Star Spangled Banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, say, does that Star Spangled Banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And even that, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. Wow. I think this has really, this time maybe it's understandable because I just learned about the story behind it, then the national anthem played. So the words would hit the most ever for me after hearing that. Yeah, maybe that's understandably so. And other people, yeah, if you've seen other reactions to this, yeah, maybe that's the normal thing, but wow. As I said a little bit earlier in the video, like now the story behind it is really going to stick with me, whatever. But I was going to say like things we learned about in school, like not a lot sticks, maybe because it's your age. And I was talking about something similar recently to someone. It's like if I were to do school again, I think I would be more successful in school because like we're kids. Not everyone is so developed. But yeah, I think I take in more information now. Like when I react to these videos and they are like about history and just different information about countries, they stick in a lot more than whatever I learned in school, and that would have been repeated even more so in textbooks and whatnot and teachers. But yeah, whatever I learned through these videos, it's information that sticks with me, and this one will definitely do that for sure. But wow. The words definitely hit hard, yes, after hearing the story. So if I didn't pick up on everything, well, I might not mention every part of the video, but yeah, or you want to just give any additional feedback or any other videos you'd like me to react to, as I said earlier as well. I do like learning about the history side of things, and there may have been some things we were taught in school, and as I said, just because of age, or maybe it's a mental thing because you're not really loving school, so you don't really, yeah, you might not have. Who knows how our brains work where the information doesn't stick in. But yeah, as I said, this type of stuff definitely interests me a lot more now as an adult. I'm over 30. So yeah, this type of thing, I don't know, really intrigues me a lot more, learning about other countries and information. And yeah, it's definitely something that will stick in a lot more. And I kind of appreciate this video, like, because it's giving me a feeling that I haven't before towards the United States National Anthem, and yeah, seeing the history behind it. But I'm going to leave it there. As I said, give me more information, any other videos, I definitely would appreciate that. And if you'd like to see more of my reactions, an Australian reacting to United States videos from, yeah, all different types of things, from music to historic stuff, yeah, subscribe to the channel and see the other videos and the upcoming ones that I will have. But for now, I'm going to leave it there. See you in the next video.